Guess who's back, 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 back again, gang, gang. Piku back, back, back. Tell your friends. Welcome everybody to another week's episode of Before the 90 Days. Oh my God. This episode has me crying and mad and anxious and sad. I feel like I had all the feelings with this episode, so let's get right into it. So we're catching up with Tigerlilly, and it seems like they did the okay, and they were both saying like, oh, their body hurts, so well, you know what, enough, I don't want to hear anymore. We understand. Okay, so anyways, they started getting ready. I think they're going to go to they were planning on going out. Okay, and so Tigerlilly takes about 4 to 5 hours to get ready. Now what I don't understand is, fast forward to when she came out of the hotel or whatever, or wherever room she was, or whatever room they were in. They went into the car, drove to the hotel, only for them to take off her shoes, only for her to take off her shoes, and then they go right to sleep. So I'm like, wait, did she spend 4 to 5 hours to get ready, to drive to an hotel, to take off your clothes and then go to bed? That was just pointless to me. But anyways, so it looks like they've been Tigerlilly, Adnan and his brother were sitting in the car for about 4 to 5 hours, and so it looks like they've been sitting out for a very long time. And then Tigerlilly tells us, oh, Adnan is just gonna have to deal with it because now they're married. So you need to understand that it's gonna take her way more time to get her ready, to do her makeup, because Sharon Cruz, you know, I remember at Glam Squad, are gonna help her get ready. Anyway, so the plan was they're going to go to the city, they're going to explore, blah blah blah, with Adnan and his brother Taha. I think that's how you say his name, Taha. So Adnan just tells us, like, you know, Taha does whatever he wants. Adnan is giving me that sense of he's like the baby of the family, and basically he has all the siblings that would just do whatever for him. I do know people that are like that. So yeah, anyway, so when Tigerlilly comes out of the room and Taha sees her, Taha was like, wait a minute, this is not right, you know. And I think he was trying to advise Adnan that you need to speak up right now, otherwise you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. That was so funny. But anyways, I think once they were in the car, then Adnan's brother Taha finally says something. It was like, okay, listen, Lily, you're my sister, and your outfit is not appropriate for Jordan. And Adnan started like getting pissed because it was like, wait, why are you telling her this right now? Like, she doesn't need to hear this right now, you know, maybe we can talk about it later, in this situation. It's looking like Adnan is trying to stand up for Tigerlilly because it feels like there is just so much rules within the Islamic culture, and all this is kind of new to Tigerlilly. Recall, she's just coming in, she doesn't know anything, she didn't Google nothing, she didn't check anything, so she's brand new to this entire culture. Okay, she doesn't know nothing. All right, so he's trying to like bring it in, you know, bring it in carefully, not just eat her with everything, like, you know, he just wanted to take it slow by slow, so that, you know, she's going to get used to the entire thing. And so in the car, Adnan gets frustrated because at Taha, because it was like, okay, you're bringing up all this stuff that I didn't want Tigerlilly to know about just yet, because it's like, okay, he has this whole thing or this whole plan where it's like he would tell her slow by slow. Well, within the midst of all these arguments and all this chaos, Shay says something. She's like, okay, what is going on? Because I'm feeling very anxious right now. And then Adnan says, oh, it's none of your business. And Shay is like, brother, you have made it my business. Okay, this car is way too small. We're all cramped up in here like a freaking sardine. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, we're gonna talk about this stuff because you've made it our business. I was like, go Shay, yeah. You know, like Adnan, like What are you talking about? Just because you're in Jordan doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful to women. And, you know, Shay wasn't trying to be disrespectful at all. Like, she just wanted to know what was going on. So Taha goes ahead to explain to everybody in the car that Tigerlilly's outfit is not appropriate for Jordan. And Tigerlilly is like, wait, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me anything? And then finally, Adnan is like, well, yes, your outfit is not appropriate. While Tigerlilly actually brought this stuff up, she was like, wait a minute, why is it okay that she can release some of her belly button area? And Adnan has his old shirt like unbuttoned all the way to his belly button. Like, it makes no sense. But here's the thing, Tigerlilly, if you are taking some time to like Google, okay, just a simple Google. Okay, we're living in the world of AI now. You can just Google anything, search. Okay, madam, it's gonna take you less than 5 seconds to read about stuff. You would have known that in this Islamic culture, they do not care about the women. Okay, whatever you say or whatever opinion you have, you can't have an opinion when you go to a Islamic rude country. Okay, things are different over there, and you need to understand that this is the culture here. And yes, you're right, it is a double standard, but unfortunately it's the world we live in. It's the world that they live in. You're not gonna be the first person, and you're not gonna be that one person that's gonna come over there and change an entire culture. It's impossible. Okay, people, just read. If you read about something, then maybe you won't be in this freaking limbo. Okay, oh, it's the next day, and again, Tigerlilly, she's getting ready, and I think Cruz and Shay are both also helping her get ready. And then Shay like offers Adnan a crystal necklace. I think she also has a tail, and she also offers Tigerlilly a crystal necklace, which Adnan was like, "Thank you so much." And so when Tigerlilly was about to put on our own crystal necklace, she asked Cruz, wait, I always miss Cruz and Shay. I think it's Cruz. Cruz is the guy. She has Cruz. Well, you know what? I'm gonna remember Cruz because last week it was just cruising at the wedding. So Cruz, wedding Cruz, was asked by Tigerlilly to put on a necklace for her, and so she was like, "Oh wait, you know what? Let me ask my husband if it's okay." And so she asked Adnan, like, "Is it okay for Cruz to put on a necklace?" Which Adnan was like, "Oh, you know what? No." And then he gets off of where he was seated and he walks over to Tigerlilly to put on a necklace for her. It makes no sense to me, but anyway, they want to do all of these shenanigans, whatever. I just feel like all of this is just shenanigans, honestly, for the TV. I don't personally believe that Tigerlilly and Adnan have such a huge fight. They might have some differences, and I don't really think Tigerlilly is so dumb. Honestly, I feel like she's very smart. She probably knows about this, but again, this is all just for you know, views, for likes, and for drama purposes. Okay, and it's really entertaining though. It's entertaining to watch. So Tigerlilly and everybody and a posse, because that's what I see it was, or Adnan and his posse or whatever, they all get into, like, they all got out of the hotel, and so the plan was for them to drive around and go to Petra, which is like a holy place. I think from what Adnan said, it was carved from scratch or something. And anyway, when they get to the front of the car, at some point Adnan shakes Shay in the hands, and he also shakes Cruz. And I think Tigerlilly gets mad at this, and she didn't even necessarily get mad that Adnan is shaking Shay's hand. I think she was just mad about the old double standard situation, because why is it okay for Adnan to shake Shay, and why is it not okay for her to shake Cruz's hands? I guess, you know, that makes sense to me. Anyway, so she's really frustrated about this whole situation, and she just gets mad or whatever. She's like, "Man, I'm so bad. I'm gonna go to the car and sit down right now." Anyway, they're gonna have to figure this out. Okay, that's it for them. So we're catching up with Brian and Ingrid. If you recall, last week Brian brought some flowers for Ingrid because he was like trying to apologize or whatever, and he brought my son a toy car or something. So today he is going to be taking Ingrid to like a resort or something. Is it a resort? Sorry, a ranch. It's gonna be taking Ingrid to a ranch while Ingrid's son is at school. And at some point over there in the ranch place or whatever, actually the place was very beautiful. I'm gonna insert a clip. You know, you're gonna see them like sitting on each other's lap, whatever, under the water. Cute. Anyways, moving on. Brian actually at some point sits down and tells Ingrid like, hey, you know, I have to tell you something more. It wasn't just the carjacking alone, da 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 da. Anyways, the whole goal was that, you know, of the whole, you know, sit down to talk, whatever, was that he was depressed, and while he was at the rehab hospital, he was realizing that, you know, he might not be able to get back to normal after, you know, the accident or whatever. And so that put him in a very, very, very deep depression. And I think he went to a very bad place. And, you know, I think at some point he was introduced to rugby, and I think that changed everything for him. So, you know, that's like the whole thing with this whole scene with them. But I gotta tell you, man, every single time I keep seeing this guy, it just feels like he's about to cry. It feels like he's about to cry, and it's just it's just tiring. Okay, up next is RAYNE and Chidi, all the way in Nigeria. Okay, remember when I said I was feeling angry and mad? Okay, this is what made me angry and mad. It might be the same feeling, but I was both. Okay, so the first few scenes actually, just so this is just an FYI if no one knows this, but you see a woman with multiple bottles on her head, and she was selling to someone on the bike. Those things are called herbs. Okay, they're like liquidy, and basically it's just a herb, and it's kind of like mixed herbs or whatever, and it's soaked in a liquid. I can't remember exactly if it's just water or there's another liquid, but it's very bitter. Some of them are bitter, some of them are sweet. I guess you can make it sweet if you want to, but it's called okpa enyi, agbo okpa enyi bitters. I think that's what it's called. But everybody has like different names for it. But basically, it's supposed to help with hemorrhoids and if you have diarrhea, and it will even help with your COCUMBER in the other room. Go ahead, if you catch my drift. At this point, RAYNE has been in Nigeria for almost a week, and Chidi has been, well, he has never been to the eye doctor forever, which I can understand because, you know, going to the doctor in Nigeria is actually very expensive. So he might not even have the time or the money or finances, whatever. I don't know what the situation is as to why he hasn't been to the doctor in over a year. Anyways, so today RAYNE is taking Chidi over to the doctor. Well, it wasn't even a year. Excuse me. It's actually over 10 years. Excuse me. My bad. So they are at the hospital, and, you know, basically he's going in to get an eye exam from the doctor, and she did confirm after the eye exam, she confirms that Chidi does have some sign of cataracts. And Chidi was like just a little sliver of hope, because it was like, wait a minute, I think I've heard people who have had cataracts in the past, and if they do have cataracts, it's sometimes fixable. And so he was thinking that if that's the case for him, maybe that will be fixed. But the doctor does say, like, you know, yes, she did see cataracts, but she also sees some signs of glaucoma, which is eye pressure in the eye. High, okay, HIGH. My God, it's almost feeling like my high and high sound similar, but high, okay, high as in elevated blood pressure in the eyes, like this. Okay, do you get it? So, and unfortunately, the doctor says that she doesn't see that being, I guess, cured. So she basically just kind of like kills his hope, whatever. But anyway, she's gonna put him on a medication. My guess is like probably like one of those latanopros, Imronidine, those kind of drugs, to get the pressure down. Because I think if it lingers and if that pressure isn't controlled, he could eventually get to the point where his eyes might actually be needed to be removed. So we're trying not to make that happen. But there was something about this scene that made me feel weird, okay? Because it pans over to Renee's face. And she has this little glimpse of happiness. It just felt like she was happy, like the doctor just confirmed that you will never be able to see again. And she's like, I will be the lights in your shining. What did she even say again? She was like, she will be Chidi's eyes or whatever. When I was like, that looks like a sign of wickedness. It just seems like she was all too excited to hear that sad story. Poor little Chidi was over there in his talking head interview. He was like, even though the doctor gave me this old sad news and everything, Renee was there to hold my hands. I was like, you need to leave that girl's hands, man. She don't want the best for you. She says that she wants the best, but it's not looking like it. I do not feel it. Back at Chidi's house, we see Renee and Chidi talking about the chickens again. So basically, I think she's telling Chidi like, oh, she has a deep connection to the chicken fingers. I mean, to the chickens, and you know, I guess I don't know. She's feeling some kind of I don't know, man. Moving on. So at some point, I think Chidi must have told his sister to prepare an African dish for Renee and everybody else. Which it's feeling like the sister does this anyway, but I think Chidi really wanted her to taste this specific African dish. And this is looking like a gari and some sauce. Okay, it's looking like a vegetable sauce with some meat, which when Renee started eating it, I do commend her though for at least trying, because when she started eating it, you can tell that she wasn't used to this kind of feeling. You know, our tongue has never tasted anything so unique. Our tongue is so used to eating canned foods and canned tomato and canned everything and pizza here, pizza that, burger there, you know. So this was a very unique situation for her. But the sister does ask Renee like, hey, did you like this food? I mean, if you don't like it, we can give you something else. So that the sister's husband, Victoria's husband too, was like, are you sure you like this? Over to the little boy sweating. But here's the thing. It's a baby, and it doesn't look like he was stopping, like he was not eating the food. It looks like he was eating it. I think it was just kind of hard in Nigeria at the time, so calm down. Leave the baby alone. Anyway, so moving forward, Chidi's sister Victoria, in a talking head interview with her husband, she says she's a little concerned that, you know, Chidi is gonna be stuck with Renee, because like Chidi is an African man and he prefers African foods, and on top of that, he's blind. So it's like, first off, she can't even lead him properly. She can't even cook. She eats canned goods and frozen pizza and all that stuff. Like, she is just so concerned about the welfare of her brother, and rightfully so. I do agree. If I was in Victoria's sister's shoes, yes, I would be so concerned about my brother too. You know, especially going to a whole different country with this freaking cuckoo of a cuckoo puff girl telling you that she doesn't cook. She doesn't even want to cook. She doesn't even want to try. That's anyway. Pointing out that when they all sat in the dining room to start eating the food, and there was a bowl passed around, okay, the table, where they all have to wash their hands in the same bowl. That's an African thing. Okay, that's an African thing. It's just normal. To be honest with you, me personally, I am an African, but if I do want to eat like that, I'll probably go into the bathroom and wash my hands in a separate bowl. But it's an African culture thing. It's, you know, I don't think it's new. I don't think they see it as like unsanitary or anything like that. In fact, they see it as sanitary, because the goal is we all wash our hands together in the same bowl or whatever, because it's kind of like a family gathering. You know, it's like family, which I don't know if Renee would understand that. Victoria said, hey, you know, so I guess they started talking about kind of like, does Renee tell our kids about Chidi? That was what Victoria asked. And Renee says yes. You know, she tells them about Chidi. She's like, oh, we've known each other spiritually, like we're connected, blah, 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 blah. And then Victoria says something like, oh, you know, so you meant spiritual? Like, what exactly do you mean? She even asked her, like, hey, can you explain? And she was like, oh, it's God ordained. And then she was like, oh, okay, so you mean spiritually, not physically. And then boom, Cuckoo for Popofo's lady just get mad out of nowhere. She just got mad. She was like, oh my God, why is she asking this? Like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, girl, calm down. She took it the wrong way, okay? The crazy thing is I actually understood what Victoria was asking. She's saying that you think that your relationship was spiritual. It wasn't like, you know how people, when they meet each other for the first time, they're like, I like you because of your eyes or because of your face or whatever. You know, it's nothing physical like that. It was just immediately spiritual. That was what she was asking. She wasn't asking about the cucumber in the other room. Okay, that was what she was asking. Renee, get your mind out the gutter. I feel like this girl has wanted a cucumber since she came to Nigeria, that everything that someone ask her, she really thinks is about like a question of the other room. Like, no, that was not what Victoria was asking you. Calm down, madam, please. God. Meanwhile, the camera pans to Chidi. Chidi is over there like, in a sucking that interview. It was like, I don't understand what's going on because I can't really understand fully if Renee is overreacting because, you know, since he can't see, he can't really understand what's going on. And but he knows that his sister is not the kind of person that get angry easily. Since Renee is accusing Victoria of being mad because she literally asked him, why are you mad? And then the funny thing is Victoria says, no, I'm not mad. I think maybe Victoria does have a RBF. You know, some people do. Like, she's just like having a resting beat face, or that's just her face. She was just calm. I don't think she was angry at all. But Chidi does say correctly. She does have, she is insecure. And so anytime she's insecure, she feels like everybody's attacking her. She needs to work on that. She needs to work on that. That is ridiculous.
And she always feel everyone is up against her.
When it says, oh, when she doesn't get along with people, she just leaves, whatever, or she moves ahead or whatever. And I think at that point, Victoria was like, okay, I think I've had enough. Then she gently stands up with her baby and exit the dinner table. I agree. I would have done the same exact thing. Even though like everybody at the dinner table was telling her like, hey, she's not mad, she still chose to believe what she wants to believe. But anyways, the next day, I think, well, at that point, Chidi was like in the room. I think he was studying his Bible. Then she comes over and she's asking Chidi if they can go on a walk. So then they go on a walk. And then the goal was that she was going to tell Chidi she's going to the hotel because she's no longer feeling very comfortable with the situation in the like within the family, especially between her and Victoria, because she's like, oh, she and Victoria has had this whole thing right now, which she basically prophesied to come to pass, to come to fruition. Okay, she wanted that to happen. She wanted to pick a fight with a man's sister, and finally it's happening. So now she's feeling uncomfortable. Now she wants to get out of the house, and getting out of the house means that she goes into an hotel, but which there's more privacy. So she invites Chidi over, like, hey, can you come over and spend some time with me at the hotel? Chidi was a little bit hesitant to even give her a response at first because it was like, okay, now you're asking me to come over to the hotel where it's more secluded and there's more chances that I might go astray and, you know, do something that I'm not supposed to do, that's not in alignment with my religion, in alignment with my faith. And then boom, Madam started shouting at Chidi for nothing.
We are not arguing.
Shut up there, I'm trying to be nice to you. Since you might think that maybe I'm such an animal, I'm gonna jump on you, I want to promise on your entire life that the entire trip I'm here.
The part where Chidi was like, oh, you know, I don't want to put myself in that situation because I might capitulate. I don't even know what capitulate. I feel like every time I watch Chidi scenes, I do have to hold a dictionary. That guy is pretty good with English words. But anyway, at this point where I'm like saying like, okay, why is Renee getting mad? Because like she has disrespected this guy multiple times because she's over there like pointing fingers. Remove your fingers away from that guy's hand before I make it chicken fingers. Girl, calm down. God. And then she's over there like, I promise I will never touch your body. And then Chidi was just so uncomfortable. And at this point, there's a point where Chidi was like with her yelling. I think it's really disorienting him. And so they gave us like a POV of what he's saying, and it felt like Renee just mumbling like woo, 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 while Chidi was talking like it's discombobulating me. My God. I was like, oh man, this is not funny.
I hate noise. It disturbs my brain. And I am extremely overwhelmed by Renee right now.
I have for this video, so stay tuned as I'm going to release the next part 2 basically of the videos probably within the couple of days, hopefully. I'm gonna try to make sure it doesn't exceed the entire week, so hopefully. So keep on the lookout, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.